Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math.
I'm Sean Gannon, and this is Minute Math, and today we're learning about proportions. Four over 2 and 20 over 6. So we have 4 over 2 and 20 over 6. Best way I like to do this is to simplify each one in simplest form and see if they're the same. If that's the case, then yes, their pair ratios form a proportion, okay? So 4 divided by 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, okay? 20 over 6, though, both are divisible by 2, okay? So we have 10 over 3. We cannot simplify that proportion anymore. 2 over 1 is not the same as 10 over 3, and so this answer is no. 3 over 2 and 18 over 8, okay? Well, first thing I like to do is try to simplify both of these ratios, and in the simplest form, if they're the same, we're good. If not, then we don't have an answer here, okay? So 3 over 2 is already in simplest form. I can't break that down anymore. But 18 over 8, both of these numbers are divisible by 2. So 18 over 8 is 9 over 4. Now, can we simplify 9 over 4 anymore? No, there's nothing we can do to simplify there. So we have 3 halves and 9 over 4. They are not the same, so our answer here is no. 4 thirds and 16 over 12, okay? Well, the way I like to solve this is I simplify each one of these ratios, okay? 4 thirds doesn't simplify anymore. Don't worry about that. It's already in simplest form. 16 over 12, well, both of those numbers are divisible by 4, right? 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 16 over 12 simplifies to be 4 thirds. Since these are now the same, we can say yes, these ratios form a proportion. 4 thirds and 8 over 6. 8 over 6, okay? Well, first thing, I like to simplify each one of these proportions in the most simplest form, and if they're equal, they form a proportion. 4 thirds cannot simplify, but 8 over 6 we can. Both are divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. We can see a 4 thirds here, 4 thirds here. They are both the same, so these forms, yes, they do form a proportion. 12 over 24 and 3 over 4, okay? First thing, I like to simplify each one of these ratios. 3/4 does not simplify anymore. We're done. 12 over 24, right? That does simplify. Both of these are divisible by 12, right? 12 divided by 12 is a 1, and 24 divided by 12 is a 2. So 12 over 24 is the same thing as 1/2. Does 1/2 equal 3/4? No, that does not. So these two do not form a proportion. Or these ratios, 6 over 9 and 2 over 3. Okay? Well, let's simplify each one of these ratios. 6 over 9, both of these numbers are divisible by 3. 6 divided by 3 is a 2, and 9 divided by 3 is a 3. 2 thirds is already in simplest form, so we cannot simplify it anymore. 2 thirds and 2 thirds, we can see they both are the same, so yes, right here. These two ratios do form a proportion. Ten over k equals 8 over 4, okay? Well, when we have a proportion instead of an equal sign, what we can do is cross multiply. Take this 4, multiply it by the 10, and this k to the 8. So we have 10 times 4, which is 40, and k times 8, or 8k, okay? And now we have to simplify and solve for k. Well, divide by 8 to both sides, get k by itself, and we have k here. 40 divided by 8 is a 5, and so my answer here is just 5. M over 10 equals 10 over 3, okay? Well, what I want to do here is cross multiply, okay? I take the 3, I'm going to multiply that by the n. That's 3n, equal sign stays here. 10 times 10 comes out to be 100. Now I have 3m equals 100. Divide by 3 to both sides to get m by itself, and a rounded answer of 33.33 when we take 100 and divide that by 3. 2 over x equals 7 over 9. Okay? Well, what I want to do here is I want to cross multiply to get x by itself. 9 times 2 is 18, and x times 7 is just 7x. Okay? Now we want to get x by itself. So we divide by 7 to both sides. This leaves us x by itself, and 18 divided by 7 is 2.57. And so our final answer here is just 2.57. 3 over x equals 7 over 10. Okay? Well, first thing I want to do is cross multiply. 10 times the 3 is 30, and x times 7 is just 7x. Then from there, we want to get x by itself. So I divide by 7 to both sides. This gives me x by itself, and 30 divided by 7 is 4.28. So there is our final answer. 4 over 9 equals to 2 over x. Okay? First thing I want to do is cross multiply. X times the 4 is 4x, and 9 times the 2 is 18. Then I want to get x by itself, so I divide both sides by 4. And I have x by myself on the left. 18 divided by 4 is a 4.5 on the right. And so that is our final answer. 6 over a equals 3 over 8. Okay? So 6 over a equals 3 over 8. Okay? Well, first thing I want to do here is I want to cross multiply. I'm going to take the 8 times the 6 there, and an a times a 3. Well, 8 times 6 is 48, and a times 3 is 3a. Then from there, I have to divide both sides by 3 to get a by itself. Okay? A is by myself on the right. 48 divided by 3 is 16. And so my final answer here is just 16. 8n over 8 equals 8 over 3. Okay? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to cross multiply. 3 times the 8m is a 24m, and 8 times 8 is 64. Okay? Then from there, I want to get n by itself. Divide both sides by 24. That gives me n by itself, and 64 divided by 24 is a rounded answer of 2.66. And so there we have our final answer. 7 over 9 equals a over 5. Okay? Well, the first thing I want to do here is I'm going to cross multiply. 5 times 7 is 35, and 9 times an a is a 9a. Okay? Now I want to get a by itself. I divide both sides by 9. Okay, and a is by itself on the right, and 35 divided by 9 is 3.88. And so there we have our final answer of just 3.88. P over 8 equals 13 over 2. First thing, I want to cross multiply. P times 2 is a 2p, and 8 times 13 is 104. Okay. Now from there, to get p by itself, I divide both sides by 2. P is here by itself. 104 divided by 2 is a 52. And so 52 is just our final answer. Ironically, a P52. 3 over 13 equals b over 3. Okay. First thing I want to do is cross multiply. 3 times 3 is a 9. And 13 times a v is a 13v. Now we have 9 equals 13v. Get v by itself. Divide both sides by 13. V is by itself, and 9 divided by 13 is 0.69. And so our final answer is just 0.69. 10 over 12 equals 2 over n. All right. First thing I want to do is cross multiply. n times 10 is a 10n, and 12 times a 2 is a 24, okay? Now we have 10n equals 24. Well, I need to divide both sides by 10 to get n by itself. 24 divided by 10 is a 2.4, and so there we have our final answer. 11 over 10 equals r over 11, all right? What I want to do is cross multiply. 11 times 11 is 121, and 10 times r is just a 10r. Then from there, when we want to get r by itself, divide both sides by 10. That gives me r by itself to the right. 121 divided by 10 is a 12.1, and so that is our final answer. X over 9 equals 7 over 14. Okay? What I want to do here is I want to cross multiply. 14 times x is just a 14x. 9 times 7 is 63. Now I have 14x equals 63. I need to get x by itself. Divide both sides by 14. Okay? And x equals 63 divided by 14 is a 4.5. And that is our final answer. A over 10 equals 11 over 14, okay? First thing I want to do here, okay, is cross multiply. 14 times a is 14a, and 10 times 11 is 110, okay? Now we have to get a by itself. Divide both sides by 14. That gives us a by itself, and 110 divided by 14 is 7.85, and so there we have our final answer. V over 12 equals 10 over 2, okay? Well, first thing I want to do is I cross multiply. 2 times a v is 2v. That's a v. It's a weird v, right? 12 times 10 is 120, okay? So I have 2v equals a 120. Then to get v by itself, I divide both sides by 2. V here is all now by itself. 120 divided by 2 is 60. And so my final answer here is just 60. 6 over 14 equals 5 over n. Okay? First thing I want to do is cross multiply. 6 times n is 6n, and 14 times 5 is 70. Okay? So now I have 6n equals 70. I divide both sides by 6. N is by itself, and 70 divided by 6 is 11.66. Don't really worry about the rounding here, and that is our final answer.
Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. Minute Math. When you need help, you use Minute Math. MinuteMathTutor.com.